we're going to talk a little bit. I have a lot to say. I didn't think I was going to stream today, but I have actually a lot to say about this particular subject. Joe Biden finally, at long last, August the 11th, announced his vice presidential pick. It is Kamala Harris. Everyone seems to be freaking out about this, at least on my timeline. I follow a lot of socialists, so what do we got? Let's see if I can come across some shit. Yeah, Joe Biden picked the cop, says Gravel Institute. This is not entirely true. Yeah, sorry, my daughter's in the background. You're gonna be hearing her for a bit. She's having trouble sleeping. Oh, there was more earlier. Anyway, people are freaking out. At least what I saw. People freaked out when they found out that Kamala Harris was selected as the VP nominee. I don't know where all these people have been the last few months. Kamala Harris was the most likely outcome. Like, she was the favorite for a while. I mean, I can sort of see being a little bit upset by this outcome, but surprised? Like, why is everyone freaking out? Obviously, Harris would end up being the pick. I mean, she's got a couple minority points down. Biden, first of all, pledged to pick a woman, which is fine. He picked a woman. He picked a black woman, which makes even more sense. And he picked a moderate. He is a moderate. Actually, no, scratch that. I would argue that Joe Biden is right-wing. He is a conservative. Really surprised that he would pick a moderate? Certainly it could have been worse. I mean, I pointed out a few things. In fact, it was all the tweets that I thought of posting that made me think of doing this. First of all, what we gotta understand is that Biden opened himself up to picking a Republican as his VP candidate. He said, I wouldn't rule it out. So considering, like, what? They got John Kasich to speak at the DNC. Oh, hello. Flaming Tsunami says, I feel like lots of people haven't really engaged since there was talk of a Warren VP pick. Obviously there was talk about a Warren VP pick, but Harris was still the favorite for a long time. Especially since Warren really was not doing well. Harris got out ahead. I mean, she was declining in the polls, but Harris never got to see the day where she lost her home state. Warren stayed in till the bitter end, and she lost her home state. Like, you don't come back from that. Harris makes perfect sense to me. And considering Biden did not see anything wrong with picking a GOP thing, I mean, they're bringing John Kasich to speak at the DNC. Fuck, he could have picked John Kasich as his VP pick. It could have been worse than Harris. I mean, I understand why progressives are freaking out here, but it, honest to God, could have been worse. And we gotta view this on the bright side. Things have been hurting in progressive circles since Biden clinched the nomination. Since Bernie dropped out, it's hurt. I've been in a state of, like, passive denial myself since Bernie dropped out. But the fact of the matter is that Joe Biden is the Democratic nominee. Yeah, it makes sense. Fact of the matter is Joe Biden's the nominee. And I see a lot of Bernie busters online. I'm in a lot of leftist Facebook groups, and it really pisses me off how many Bernie busters or insistent Green voters there are, or people who are abstaining. I thought like this in 2016. I can't think like this again. We've had Trump for 4 years. There is no excuse to think like this. It is all hands on deck to get this motherfucking fascist out of office, okay? Biden sucks. Biden's creepy. He's an accused rapist. All of these things are true. But he still needs to be elected. Because there are only two choices. There are only two choices. And I've mentioned this on stream before about the idea of voter share. How the Republican Party is very unified behind Trump. They're not like, thinking of voting libertarian or some shit. I mean, some are, but really not many. The GOP is pretty unified. The left is not very unified. And what I really hate is when you say voting third party or not voting helps Trump, and Bernie Brastos will come at you and say, well, why doesn't it help Biden? Huh? Sounds pretty stupid when you say it like that. Like, motherfucker, no. I mean, were you gonna... I don't understand. Were you gonna vote Trump before you decided to vote third party? Like, I don't understand. You're either... Biden is the furthest right these people will go. They're not gonna vote Trump. We're not losing Trump voters by all these people choosing to vote third party. We're losing potential Biden voters. We need to increase Biden's vote share to get Trump out of office. And now apparently the Dem exit thing was renewed because he picked Kamala Harris? Really? It would have been worse if he picked Pete Buttigieg. It would have been worse if he picked Amy Klobuchar. It would have been worse if he picked any number of, not even counting that he said he would open up to GOP. It would have been worse if he picked any number of Democratic candidates. If he picked even some of the other runners in the race. I mean, holy shit, could you imagine if he picked Mike fucking Bloomberg as his VP pick? I would think my lucky stars it was Kamala Harris. And people were like, he could have picked a progressive choice. Did you really expect him to? Did you really expect him to make a concession to the left and pick, like, what, Nina Turner? Come on. I mean, it would have been great, but you could not have expected him to do that. Now, granted, the strategy of picking Kamala Harris is pretty odd. I mean, I get that, you know, she's a high-profile black woman, and that makes sense in that way, but she's from California. You had that state locked down. I mean, are there any other picks from battleground states? I mean, you know what? Warren seems to make a bit more sense from that perspective. Wasn't Massachusetts a battleground state? Hold on, let me ask you all this question. No, that's not what I want. No, Trump didn't. No, he did not win Massachusetts. That was not a battleground state. Or was it? Is it a... No, I think that's pretty safe blue. Okay, never mind that then. Like, you know, okay, so more wouldn't make as much sense. But, like, I don't know, Joe Manchin might have made more sense. I mean, fuck. Like, no, I would have hated Joe Manchin as a VP pick, but, like, strategically, you know, clinching that state would have made sense. I'm just talking, like, from, like, picking a high-profile person from battleground state. That's all I was thinking. Like, you don't presidential nominees usually do that? Isn't that what Hillary Clinton did last time? Oh, and speaking of which, this is way better than Tim Kaine. Who the fuck is Tim Kaine? Don't we remember that when Hillary Clinton picked Tim Kaine? Everyone was like, who the fuck? Everyone was like, she could have picked Bernie Sanders, and she picked Tim motherfucking Kaine. Granted, Joe Biden could have also picked Bernie Sanders, but I kind of understand why he didn't this time. And, at least it was someone people know. At least it was someone some people can get excited about. I mean, like, shit. People were excited about Kamala Harris in the early primary season. I don't support Kamala Harris, but, like, fuck, some people did. And not to mention, Kamala Harris actually made a name for herself. Remember the Kavanaugh hearings? I mean, holy shit. Before 2016, and even after 2016, zero people knew who Tim Kaine was. Was he even still a senator? I don't know. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. Because nobody fucking knows him. He doesn't do anything. Kamala Harris, for all her faults, and we're going to get into her faults, is a fantastic questioner. She could rival AOC in her lines of questioning. In the Kavanaugh hearings, she was fucking fantastic. No ifs, ands, or buts. Harris is fantastic in debate. Excellent. And even in the primary debates. And granted, primary debates are always a shit show. And I think Kamala Harris didn't do as well, and didn't do that great in the primary debates because she had to, lie through her teeth all the time, and she had to trump up her record as a progressive one, even though it wasn't. She had to hide a lot of her record, which Tulsi Gabbard ended up exposing, and obviously that doesn't look good. If you're trying to look progressive when your record is actually very right-wing, especially when you're on the stage with people more progressive than you and you're trying to look progressive, you're not going to come out looking good. And it was inevitable. Harris did not end up looking good in those primary debates because of that. But holy shit, the way she went after Joe Biden for the racism shit, fuck. Beautiful. And you know what? Fuck. People are claiming hypocrisy, especially assholes like Ben Shapiro, claiming hypocrisy for joining the Biden ticket after she called him out as a racist. Come on. She was asked to become VP. Come on. Come on. Are you really surprised? I mean, maybe there's an air of hypocrisy there, but it's essentially, come on. When you're offered the VP spot, you take it. Because that's your chance. That's your opportunity. You can sway policy from the VP spot. I mean, granted, it's a very ceremonial job, but you can take some power in the VP spot. So obviously she took it. Obviously she's on the ticket if it was offered to her. But hey. It could have been worse. You gotta look on the bright side. It could have been worse. This doesn't change shit. In fact, again, I was worried it might have been worse than Kamala Harris. We dodged quite a few bullets here. Let's calm down a bit. Alright? Let's move on to something else. If Kamala Harris becomes vice president, her Senate seat is open. This is a golden opportunity. We have a special election perhaps within the next couple of years, and no incumbent Democrat. We need to get a progressive in that seat. This is the golden opportunity. Flip California further left. What are we waiting for? Yeah. Fucking elect Kamala Harris as VP. Shit, what the fuck do you think she's gonna do? What harm do you think she's gonna do as VP? Honestly. Do you really think she's gonna, talk Biden out of progressive initiatives? No. She's gonna be looking for concessions. She was looking for concessions in the primary race. Granted, they weren't far enough, but, do you really think she is gonna be the one to talk Biden out of shit? She's not gonna do any harm in that position. I don't think, at least. But what this opens up for progressives in the United States is an opportunity to fill her seat with a progressive. Come on. Get her done. Let's go. Get excited. This is a good thing. Take a moderate Democrat out of the Senate. Put one of ours in. Alright? And not to mention. And also, this is for all you gotta get someone electable fucking morons in the primaries who insisted on getting Joe Biden on the ticket because Bernie was just too left for the Republicans. Where is it? Where is it? Yeah. more? I responded to one. Yeah. Yeah. I think Don Jr. did some too. Why the fuck is Don Jr. not still suspended? Yeah. Yeah. What did you expect? And this says something. It doesn't just say that the people who demanded someone electable in the primaries was a fucking idiot, but it says something else. To these people, a center to center right candidates such as Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are far left. What does that say about these people? We already know they're far right. Anything that Biden or Harris say is gonna be viewed as far left. We can't let far right people take the fucking White House again. Give it a fucking rest, okay? Swallow your fucking pride and vote Biden. I can't. I'm Canadian. But why do I care? Is because United States politics directly affect Canadian politics. Fucking U.S. politics affect everywhere. There's an argument to be made that the whole fucking globe should be granted the right to vote in U.S. elections because they affect everywhere so directly. Man, am I ever tired of hearing you're Canadian, so you should shut up. Oh my god. Do you have any idea how badly the 2016 elections affected political discourse here? It was fucking horse shit. Don't let it happen again. Fuck off. Do your fucking world duty and get Trump out of office, alright? I'm so tired of hearing this shit. Yeah, we got, especially people like Ben Shapiro who were saying that, this is an easy W for Trump. Look, Biden being nominated was the worst of it, and he's still leading in the polls, okay? Biden has so much more ammunition against him, and he's still leading in the polls. I take solace in that. Oh, Pixel said something. Fuck, I love Pixel. Anyway, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, they were saying that Biden picking Kamala Harris gave Trump an easy W, that she's going to torpedo his chances. I beg to differ. Kamala Harris is a better debater than Biden. I think in her vice presidential debate on this October 7th, she's going to wipe the fucking floor with Pence. I think. That is my prediction. I could be wrong. I'm not overly confident. But she's a really good debater. And I think if she just doesn't shit the bed with her rhetoric, I actually think she could be helpful here. Alright, maybe not as VP, maybe not in the actual job, but in terms of getting Trump out of office, I actually think she could be a helpful force here. Alright, so think positive. Of course it's not a progressive. You were setting yourself up for disappointment from the word go, if that's what you thought. But as far as centrist picks go, could have easily been worse than this. Alright. I am not nearly as hurt as I was when Bernie dropped out. I am a perfectly content camper, relatively. As content as you can be in this election cycle. Okay? All progressives and leftists need to just chill out. Just accept this as the inevitability that it was, and just move on and vote Biden. Okay? That's all. That's all you need. That's all you need to do. And now it's just, now you just know that it's also going to say Kamala Harris on it. That's all. And the great thing about it is that once she's in office, Mike Pence is no longer the tiebreaker vote in the Senate. Imagine that. And right now the DNC might not have Medicare for All on their platform, but you know what Kamala Harris has going for her? Decent rhetoric on women's rights. Okay. She has a shit record as a prosecutor. I actually wanted to bring the source in, but I didn't really segue into it. I didn't really lead into it. But she does have a shit record as a prosecutor. You know, fought to keep wrongly convicted people in jail using technicalities. Her record on marijuana is abysmal. You know, all that shit. She has a bad record as AG and as a DA. Biden has a bad record as a senator. I don't give a shit. Get them elected. All right. I don't want to be your broken record here. That's really all I wanted to come on and talk about is the VP pick because I was inspired. But that's about it.